Okay, we are recording. And hello, happy Sunday evening, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I have a very special guest with me tonight, my husband, Jason, and I asked him to come on. He is actually part of Tori Bell, but more behind the scenes than in front of the scenes, for sure. But tonight is making up, just to recap, from this past Monday. We were not able to do Tribe Talk because we had a huge, well, most of the nation, but specifically Texas, who is unequipped for a huge snowmageddon storm that literally froze us to death for a week. And we had all kinds of catastrophes happening around us, but praise Jesus, our home was safe and remained with electricity and water. So we were actually the ones helping everybody. They were coming over, staying warm, getting jugs of water, like multiple jugs of water at a time. I should have probably charged them. I'm just kidding. But we were probably causing the water shortage whenever we got the notice, like on Thursday or Friday, because I was like, oh, because the whole neighborhood is getting our water. But we're all past that, thank goodness. It feels so good to walk out and not freeze our little heinies off. For those of you who live in that type of climate, I know Amy lives in that type of climate. You guys are used to it.
Y'all can have it.
Us Texas folks, we are not used to it, and we're gonna send it back your way. We don't want to have anything to do with it. But we are all good here. So thank you guys for joining us on Sunday versus last Monday, because I know Heather lost power, water. She had to go hunker down with some friends. So that's where she has been. I think that she'll be joining us. I haven't seen her on here yet. And if she's not, she is still kind of dealing with some aftermath and getting some other situations handled. So I know many of you probably caught my live yesterday in the team page. And I talked about several different things. One of the things I talked about was the spring training that has launched from Lash headquarters. Julie Kelly, who, just so you guys know, maybe you're new, maybe you're veterans, we are all part of Julie Kelly's team. And I know some people, they're like, what are you talking about? Well, you know, she's an up line from us, and she's an amazing leader. And she has created this concept with another affiliate of hers, Elizabeth, to have spring training. And what it is designed to do is just create an accountability and a 30-day calendar that is there to help really give you daily guidance and action steps to help create momentum in your business. Now, many of you guys, excuse me, my nose is a little bit runny. Many of you guys have already enrolled in that, and that is officially kicking off on February 23rd in a couple of days. I literally I think I have one person on my team that I know out of like 40 women, which is crazy. So I'm super excited to get to know some cross-line affiliates and help them. But many of you guys are going to be part of other leaders' teams for spring training. And I'm excited because it's kind of like that third party credibility when you hear something from the same person over and over and over, usually like your parents, like us telling our kids to clean their room. And then if grandma were to come over and said, clean your room, it would be done in 2.5 seconds. So maybe just learning from just accepting wisdom and being teachable and coachable. If it's not exactly, most of the time, all of us are really on the same system, you guys, the system that was created. Julie Kelly actually created that system. And so utilizing the units and all of that is the same. So what they use is what you guys are trained to use within magnetic appeal. So it's not going to be really anything new. You're just going to get a fresh perspective, maybe some a new personality pouring into you, and some new relationships that you're able to form So be excited about that. But what I wanted to share in regards to that, yeah, it's not mandatory, but for those who missed the sign up, we are going to be duplicating what they are doing, because the daily post in the teams is going to be, I'm going to post here in Magnetic Appeal. And that will just give you something to hold yourself accountable. Now, I'm not going to be keeping tally over any of Magnetic Appeal in this group, but I want to duplicate what they're doing, so that if you are self-motivated and self-determined and really want to capture some momentum over these next 30 days and beyond, you'll just do it and follow alongside the teams. You know, the teams had a cutoff, and that's because there was over 900 affiliates that registered, which is insane. So their goal was 500, and we have 900 participating. Now, I'm going to take what I am going to be coaching into my group and sharing it into the system. So everybody has the opportunity to see the material, and then you guys can take the daily challenges to help create momentum and just accountability in your group. Now, the accountability part is going to be really self-accountability. I'm not going to be holding anybody accountability in this group, because I'm going to be holding 40 other women accountable in this other group. I have a checkoff list. So this is just so that you're not missing out on the action steps, so that you can still capture what it is that everybody's going to be doing to gain momentum within their organization. I also know, and I haven't talked to Heather and I, because we've been talking back and forth about kind of strategy of what we were going to do. And because we love the idea. And you guys, if you're not familiar, we've had a 30-day consistency group, of which I know that we were going to kind of replicate that in there. But you know what? I said, you know what? I'm going to open it up to all 5,000 Magnetic Appeal team members, that whoever wants to hold themselves accountable and follow along, then you guys can certainly do that. I do not want to keep anybody, I don't want to feel like there's some type of secret that you're going to be missing. The other part is just maybe the competition part, where the 3 strikes and you're out, and then you get benched, and you can still participate, but and you're in it for prizes. And you know what, who knows, maybe I'll do like daily challenge and pick a day that I will give away a prize if you complete the task for that day. But it won't be for, I'm not going to be giving away prizes for all 30 days. I'm just kind of prefacing that. This is really for those of you, and see, right now I'm speaking to the choir. I've got 36 team members right now who wanted to show up tonight. So that just proves to me that you guys are invested and that you want to build momentum in your businesses. And I want to be able to, we want to be able to give you guys every single, I'm blank on the word, opportunity, thank you, opportunity to do so. So I wanted to go over that. Yes, you did know, you do not have to have your whole team join Lash headquarters, you guys. I will just simply replicate that over in Magnetic Appeal, so that you don't have to worry about, again, them missing out on anything. Outside of that, let me see, what updates do we have? Okay, so tonight, just so I don't forget, tonight the trio bundle goes off sale. You guys know that that's on sale for $115. That has been a great promotion. That has absolutely driven some sales for myself.
For me.
Oh yeah, for Jason. And he's right. So make sure that you guys are taking advantage of that promotion, because it will end at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 11 Central Time. So we still have a few hours, or if you have not taken advantage of those savings to have some stock on hand, I'll tell you, it has been crazy. You know, this is how this business goes. I want to talk about a couple of things. Over the past few days, you know, sometimes my business feels like it's just going on all four wheels, right? I kind of talked about that. And sometimes I just kind of feel like it's in the slow lane and not much is happening. I'm just kind of going through the daily actions, maybe not making a bunch of sales. And then kind of out of nowhere with consistency, just by me being present and continuing to remain in front of my social media audience, utilizing my stories. I don't use many other platforms other than that. So those are what I use. It has created a burst of some momentum. I have been making multiple lash sales daily over the last few days. I have been able to recruit quite a few new affiliates, which I'm super excited about. And the reason I say that is not to say, oh, look at me, my business is so great. It's for you guys to understand that it is not so great every single day. Like, I don't make lash sales every single day. I don't recruit somebody every single day, but I am consistent and sharing every single day. And that's where that consistency will certainly pay off in the long run, because all of a sudden I feel like, bam, I get messages. Do you have anything in stock? Do you, I need lashes sent out now, and I'm like, absolutely, I'm your girl. So a couple of pointers to that. Number one, for me, I love to always carry a few lashes in stock. I think that's extremely important, that you can provide instant customer satisfaction for those, wanting it immediately. So it's a great investment into your business. There is no lag time, unless you were hit by Snowmageddon and the mail doesn't run for a week. That's when you get hit by lag time. FYI, if there's anybody that won prizes from the Lash Bash, I posted them last weekend. We didn't have mail service this past week, so they will all be sent out tomorrow. My apologies for the delay. But other than that, it's the consistency that has created some momentum. And also, I want to point out the future is in the follow-up. And the reason I say that is because new customers who I was able to maintain over the past month or so has really fallen in love with these lashes. And I'm not high pressure. I just want them to love them as much as all of us do. And by going back in, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Going back in, number one, taking the time to really make sure that your customers are happy with their lashes. Making sure if they need to do a face-to-face tutorial. I've had multiple conversations of new customers that have struggled. And so I'm literally walking them through the process of helping them trim their line. I'm like, okay, come up close to the camera so I can see where your placement is. So I can help them with the placement, and then doing some tutorials with them has really made a huge difference to where you guys, the huge difference it went from one order from this past Lash Bash the Galentine Lash Bash, a $155 order turned into a $450 order because she fell in love with it. She absolutely fell in love. She goes, I'm now obsessed. And she went in and just went cray over our products. And but that was because I took the time and I said, here, let's FaceTime. I want to make sure that you're applying these properly. She was having trouble with one of the liners not sticking. And so I said, here, let's go over your different options. And she had just received a second option of liner. You guys, the one liner wasn't her jam. She messaged me back and she says, you will never believe it. I tried my other liner and it worked like magic. And she was so happy. So I say that because maybe if you have ever experienced any unhappy customers, right? Or customers that might be struggling with them staying on, suggest, trying a different product, or maybe swapping out a product. Liner is covered for 14 days, you guys. Lashes are not, but liner is. So if they don't fall in love with the liner that they chose, if they don't want to purchase a new liner, because she wanted to try all the things, which was a blessing, but I know not everybody can do that. Maybe suggest, hey, let's reach out to corporate. Let's say that you're not happy with this liner and let's try a different formula. Okay, and so making those suggestions, because we know that it's just a matter of trial and error to find out their best fit. So I wanted to talk to you about that instance. I want to talk to you about another instance where I have a friend who has, you know, thank goodness I keep great communication with the customers, right? Because she's like, I must be lash challenged because I'm struggling. And I'm like, okay, let's go through step by step what we need to do. And the first day she was not impressed. The second day was much better. And then she, you know, she was happy with the product. And then she saw the special and she was like, hey, can I still get that special? Is it still available? Well, you guys always know that I am going to attach an opportunity conversation with really every single customer that I have. Just like, girlfriend, if you love these, I promise you, your friends are going to love them too. You really need to consider rocking this business. I would love to help you. Okay. I don't feel icky in that conversation. I don't feel, they don't feel put off and they don't feel pressured. Okay. Now, one thing is that this friend is building a different direct sales business, of which I respect. Okay. I'm not trying to get her to leave the business that clearly she loves, right? But if I can create a referral partner with her and not try to talk her, but see, I'm honoring her. I'm not trying to talk her out of doing what she already loves, because I clearly see that she loves what she's doing. But I want to partner with her, saying, you know, I love supporting her in her business, and I love her supporting me in my business. And she, you know, I asked her to put up a referral post. It was great. They were very excited to see how she was going to do. And it wasn't awkward at all. I'm like, hey, girlfriend, I would love if you would put up a referral post, see if any of your friends would be interested in these lashes. I'll give you exactly what to say. It's not awkward. It's very short. And they're like, yeah, no, she's like, no big deal. So she reaches out today and, you know, she really never, she never responded back about the $9 enrollment. And I was not offended. Okay. I was not like, hey girl, did you see my message? I told you that you needed to sign up, right? I didn't do that. She kind of maybe just swept that under the rug, but I still keep an honoring conversation between us. She reaches out and she's like, hey, did I miss a special? And she's like, no. I was like, no, you absolutely did not. So she ordered the bundle and then she's like, hey, I just wanted to make sure that special is still available because I have a friend that wants to order lashes. And I'm like, you got it, girlfriend. And so I, you know, appreciate her being excited to share with her friends and me not pressuring her to come join my business. Okay. If she can just be a referral partner, then I will love that as much. And who knows what will happen in the future. But right now, I'm going to take this as a win-win-win, right? I have a happy lash customer. I have a returning lash customer. And now I have a referral partner, okay? And I'm not hammering her to join my business. So I think that's just very important. If you guys have, and the reason I share this is because I was thinking tonight as we're at dinner, I'm like, you know what? This is so important. All of us get so caught up and, hey, join my business. You know, I don't care if you're happy doing what you're doing. You need to be part of my business. You know what? Because we love our business. But what if they love their business? You know, and what if we would just be honoring in that and say, I know you are so in love with what you're doing. And girlfriend, I am so proud of you. As a matter of fact, I've done that several times. Because if I see a friend love what they're doing as much as I love what I'm doing, I don't want to be icky. You know, because they honor me and what I love, and I want to do the same thing. So you know, if you're supporting somebody in their other business, I would encourage you to say, hey, you know what, girlfriend, I love that you have found something that you are passionate about and that you are rocking. I'm watching you. But I appreciate you so much in supporting my business. I would love it if you would throw up a referral post, or if you don't want to put up a post, maybe just share with some friends, you know, or some coworkers. When you wear your lashes, I would love to be the go-to when they ask you about those. I would appreciate it so much. So I just think that that is so important that we remember, because sometimes we can get caught up in self, right? It's all about self growth, self-business, self-satisfying, self-serving. And we're like, wait a minute, that's actually not what we're about at all. We're always about serving others. So if I can serve my friend and just help provide an amazing product, and then just ask for her to support me and sharing, then they're not beat over the head. And guess what? They're also not going to continue, or they're not going to be irritated when I post about how much I love my business, because I'm not irritated when they post about how much they love their business. As a matter of fact, if you would go in when you see a friend, and sometimes, hey, I am guilty of having done this. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she's like so happy in that business. Like she totally needs to be doing this business with me because this is so awesome. Like I needed to eliminate that mindset, because I have been guilty. And when I see my friends who maybe were part of my other business, but they're doing a different business now, even former team members, I will go in and celebrate them. And I will say, girlfriend, I am so proud of you. Because at the end of the day, I freaking am. All I want, whether they find the empowerment and the passion within this business or within a different business, I think it's so important that as women, as people in general, that we are empowering each other and that we are supporting each other. And you will create such a stronger community and support system. They will be happy to continue purchasing lashes from you when they feel like they were not just a freaking target, when they didn't have a bullseye on their head thinking, oh, I only want to talk to you or befriend you because of what you could do for me. When you eliminate that mindset, watch what happens naturally and organically. People who are respected will respect you. People who are loved will love you. People who are honored will honor you. What you sow, you will reap. The Bible tells us so. All right. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that. And yeah, you're right, Teresa. So the reason I asked my husband here, not just for you guys to stare at this handsome hunk tonight, I've got arm candy. I wanted him to come on here and talk about spousal support. Okay, I think this is so important. Those of us who are building this business, who are married or in a relationship, I think it's valuable. Now, Jason is building this business, and he doesn't really like for me to leave the house without my lashes on, because then he can't start a conversation, because he starts a conversation all the time, literally, right?
Yep.
Yeah, why don't you kind of dig into that?
Yeah, so ladies, don't leave the house, especially if you're going to date night with your husband. You should have your lashes on, because then he can't say something to the waitress, or he doesn't have to, but I do all the time to the waitress or somebody that's in a drive-through, or in somebody in passing, as simple as, hey, are those new magnetic lashes? And 9 times out of 10 they're going to say no. And then I present my beautiful wife, say, hey, she needs to know about those magnetic lashes. Or they say, yes, I've tried them before and they were horrible, I couldn't get them to work. And say, oh, you must not have had the Tory Bell lashes. So it's a simple I guess, segue for me, and it's not intimidating or anything like that.
Well, it doesn't feel icky either because the woman doesn't feel like he's like hitting on them because his wife is right there. And so, and honestly, you guys, those become his sales or his recruits because it's always, hey, give your number to my wife. He isn't collecting the information, you guys, and really, I'm kind of doing the legwork after that because out of honor for our relationship, he's not following up with a whole bunch of women. Okay. And I think sometimes men are feeling like that's what they would have to do. Honestly, I just want an introduction. Okay. And so I think that's important for if you have a husband that is supportive and is like, I'll sell it. I'll support you, fantastic. It doesn't have to be weird or icky. But I also, yes, Teresa, but I also want to talk about what if the husband doesn't want to build a business? How else can they support their wives?
Right. I mean, it's different because I'm talking to a bunch of women and not a bunch of husbands. But
yeah, you can't really go like beat your husband.
Don't tell them because I said so.
Yeah, but I do think it's we do need to have like a planned get your spouse on the tribe talk night so that they can kind of hear this. We should have we totally need to have a husband Zoom, but just some of the ways that you support me in addition to, conversations that you have in the field.
Stuff around the house. Tori doesn't know how to start the dishwasher. She doesn't know how to start the vacuum cleaner. No, I'm just picking. She does. But I do a lot of the chores around the house along with the kids. I see Ada folding clothes over there, and that's mine and the kids' job usually. Tori will do that sometimes with us, but we knock it out and get it done because I'd rather her work on her business versus working on things that I can do when I get home from work or just at different times. And times like right now, whenever she's doing a Zoom or something like this, it's when I'm tending to the kids and we're doing different things. And so it's trying to figure out whatever balance and structure works for your family is going to work for you. And so that also comes down to communication. And so at night or tonight at dinner, we're talking about, okay, this is where you are right now in business and things of that nature and what we need to focus on more to help things out around the house. And we're not arguing, we're talking, and there has to be communication. If there's not communication, that's when tempers can flare and things, and guys can hold it deep inside and let things fester. And so I think number one is going to be communication. Number two is going to figure out what structure and what I guess system works best between your four walls. There was a system that was put in place in our previous company that was a red light, green light, and a yellow light system type thing when it comes to business. Red light means I'm not doing any business stuff during this time. Green light means it's all business at the time. Yellow time, there might be a phone call, there might something business related might happen at that point in time. And so that's setting up some kind of structure that your family knows, okay, mom can't be present right now because she's working on business, and they know that. Or mom can go do stuff right now and mom's not going to mess with her phone. And so as long as you figure out something that works with your family, then that's what's going to work with, between y'all's four walls.
Yeah, and what I want to say to you, I'm looking at a bunch of boss babes right now, is sometimes we as independent, strong women can find ourselves out of balance, right? Because we're just going. I get hyper focused. So then it's just like lash, business, helping. I'm trying to do as much and as fast as I can, as much as I can. And I can find myself out of balance and letting my priorities fall out of line. And then my four walls start feeling a little shaky because I have not kept true to myself and my values and my priorities, which is faith, family, and then fortune, which would be my career, right? So faith, family, fortune. And if I flip it and I make fortune my number one priority, and I am not putting any type of focus, I feel out of a line, my family feels out of a line, my four walls feel out of a line, and I have to put myself in check. So I'm speaking to the boss babe right now that if you feel like you are, I mean, I know you have purpose, and I know that you're driven, and I know that you really want things to happen within your business. But at the end of the day, what you're doing this is for your family. You have to remember not to sacrifice your family, okay? Because, the text will be there in 30 minutes. I have to remind myself of that. The messenger can be answered either in a little bit or tomorrow if I have committed my time to my husband or my children, okay? And I think it's important that we constantly have to remind ourselves of that, because number one, whenever you feel stress and whenever you feel anxiety over this, it doesn't become what it's designed to be, which is designed to be fun. It's designed to be a solution. It's designed to bring you joy. And when that starts fading, we need to evaluate, okay, have I fallen out of a line with what's most important to me, with my virtues and my values? Is faith, family, and fortune. So if you need to take a breather and reassess, sometimes we will have incredible, intense fellowship. And that happens. And that means like a knockdown, drag out fight for those of you who I need to make sure that you understand what I'm talking about. It's because most of the time I have come out of alignment and I have completely, disregarded my kids. I'm disregarding my husband. I'm not holding true to what I'm fighting for. Although I know what I'm fighting for, I'm sacrificing what I'm fighting for, and then it doesn't become worth it. Okay. So when Jason says it's incredibly important to have clear communication, I have to communicate with my children why I'm doing this. Like we talk about money with our children, not in a negative sense, but for them to understand the value and a hard work principle and what this is all about, right? And then it's also important that he and I talk. Like we are very committed to having date nights, and I think this is something that we probably learned previously in our other business, that I was so focused on the business all the time, we could find ourselves just at ends, like just this tension that was built up, and we weren't as committed to what we have learned from our mistakes that we made, which is I made my business my number one priority and not my spouse and my children and my faith. This go around, I've learned some hard lessons to where I don't have to be on 24 hours a day building this business and leading this team at the detriment for what I'm fighting for. Okay, because I don't have a short-term vision, I have a long-term vision. I don't plan for this to go anywhere, and I pray that you don't have any plans for this to go anywhere for you. So know that although we want things to happen so fast and right now, it's important to not lose sight of where you're headed and where you're going. And in the journey to get there, don't leave your husband as roadkill. Don't leave your children as roadkill. Okay, because then you're going to have a resentful spouse that does not support you. You have children that will hate this business, and this is never designed to be that. Okay, so sometimes women, if you're anything like me, you have to just reassess and reprioritize, take a breather, have a date night. It's funny because Heather's just been under lots of changes and lots of stress. And she goes, I took a Tory time out and I had date night with my husband because yesterday she was just really, as women, we all get to that breaking point, right? Lots of stress. And she's like, I had date night. And then I woke up today and I felt so much better, because the pressure of her and her husband of just, not being on the same page because of work and this and that and such craziness, when you are at odds within your four walls, it is very hard to focus in your business. I can't be the best leader for you guys when he and I are not on the same page. Okay, so then I have to reprioritize and make sure he and I are on the same page so that I can serve you guys with excellence. But if my mind has anxiety over where we are as a couple, and where our family is, then there's something in the back of my mind that you don't have my full attention and my best that I want to give you because I haven't handled the other situations. Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about some of those things because I think it's important. I think it's important that we don't fall out of line. And if you do, you need to reevaluate and reassess. It doesn't mean that you have to put this down or put it on the back burner. You just maybe need to breathe. You just need a breather and assess your situations, have clear communication, go on a date night, and then pick it back up the next day or on Monday. If you need a weekend getaway, pick it back up on Monday. So I just feel like that's so important that we never lose sight of our priorities. It's important that we have our spousal support and that you can communicate with your spouse what you would love for him to do in regards to how he can support you. And then, of course, if you have a spouse that is like, yeah, I want to build this thing with you. Like Jason and I, this is what we do for 17 years, 19 years, 20 years. For 20 years, we've built business together. We've been together for 20 years. And for 18 of those, for 19 of those, we literally have been business partners. We have built business together for 19 years. So that's all we've ever known. And I didn't want to do this without him. So he's not, the driver, but I love that he's involved and I love that he supports me. And if you can communicate with your significant others, how they can best support you, so you eliminate that stress factor. And I think communication is but see, you can't point the finger and say, you need to support me like this, but then not give him any of your attention and your time. Like you still have to give them what they need so they give you what you need. Okay, that's so important, you guys.
I think that's also the same for, well, I know it's the same thing for business as well, other types of business. So if you have another job and that job is taking up a lot of your personal time at home, then that's going to be the same thing as this business as well. And so if your spouse is in whatever business that he may do, if that job is taking up a lot of his time, maybe that's a conversation that you guys need to have on the flip side about his job as well, and say, hey, we're all on the same page for the same goal. We're trying to create income for our family, but yet you're spending X amount of time in your business and I'm spending X amount of my time in my business, and we're two ships passing the night. And so that's where things get bad. And so it can't just be just all about Tori Bell. It's also about just your four walls, because like Tori was saying, when your four walls, your house is not in order, nothing's going to run right. Your business is not going to grow. And 9 times out of 10, whenever we see somebody's business backsliding, that's because there's something wrong at home. There's something wrong out somewhere else. And it's just what we've seen happen in our previous business. It's what we've seen happen in this business. And it's just, we've seen it, and we know what are the markers and what to look for.
Yeah. We know the red flags because we've been through this for 20 years. So I just think that sometimes these types of conversations are needed just to mentor you guys in the right direction. And if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, overworked, whatever that looks like, just reassess and maybe look at the red flags. But at the end of the day, staying consistent, because like he has seen me so happy over the past couple of days. When he and I are happy, like my whole world is happy, right? Like that, that's what it is. But the consistency of all of a sudden, like, oh, people messaging from lashes. And then I've got, hey, tell me about the business. You know, things just kind of start clicking, but they don't click every day. But I show up every day somewhere. You know, I show up on a post. I show up in my stories. I show up in Messenger following up. Okay, so I would encourage you to make sure that you're staying consistent, because just trust the process. Like, trust the process. It doesn't have to be a huge momentum every single day for you to feel like you're having success in your business. Just showing up. And that's why I'm so excited about this spring training, whether you are on a team or whether you're going to commit to doing it on Magnetic Appeal. Whenever I do the post, you have to decide what changes you want to make. You have to decide to show up. You have to decide to follow through. Okay. And that's only something, I mean, that's sometimes hard, the self-accountability part of, okay, I can't lay in bed all day. I have to get up and do something. You know, I'm frustrated with my business, but yet I'm not doing anything in my business, you know. And that's where we can start looking at all the outside factors instead of looking at the internal shift that needs to happen. Okay. So I hope some of this has helped you guys, and just, you know, sharing our hearts with you guys. What do you want to say?
That's 8:47. No, just on regards of what Tori's saying, getting out and doing things. So if you had a job right now that you have a salary, can you go to your boss and ask him, hey, can I get a raise next week? And still to keep doing the same thing. 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no, right? Can I get a raise next year? Well, with Tori Bell, you can go talk to somebody new tomorrow or right now, and you can give your own self a raise. And so if you're wanting a bigger check at the end of the month or at the end of the pay period, then you can continue to talk to somebody over and over again. So you're giving yourself your raise. You're in charge of giving yourself a raise. And so if you do that, well, then your check will grow. But if you're in a traditional business earning a salary, you can't really do that. And so if you're wanting a new position in your business, then go after it.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, how do we, like, it's up to us. If it's going to be, it's up to me. The quote is on my wall in my office. You know, how many new people am I talking to? How consistent am I? You know, how many people have I followed up with? Have I dropped the ball? You know, I think sometimes we get so focused on who's next. We don't go back to who already was there. And we need to make sure that they are incredibly happy, because they'll appreciate you. They know that you care, that they weren't just another number, another notch on your paycheck, that you honestly are providing that excellent customer service. And then when they feel appreciated and valued and respected, you are going to create lifelong customers and lifelong team members. And that's what we've learned over the past 20 years, not just from a direct sales, but even in our conventional business. Whenever we had our cheer gym, you know, customer service, customer appreciation, truly feeling valued, and that they weren't just a number, but they were appreciated. When you treat people like that, you're going to see an amazing difference in how people respond to you and your business. So it's 8:50. I want to appreciate you guys, appreciate your time on this Sunday evening. And however we can help, spring training starts on the 23rd. So those posts will be started. Then we also have a business opportunity tomorrow night. So if you have prospects, even if they, you know, if you've reached out once, maybe reach out again, invite them. There's no obligation, but come hear the stories and listen to why and what I'm so excited about. So that Zoom will be posted tomorrow. It's going to be an opportunity Zoom at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. All right, you guys have an awesome night. God bless you.